Okay, what's up, Algebra 1? Just wanted to go over a few problems from your next lesson. This is the one that's due on Friday. This is Unit 7, Assignment 6, Foil and Special Cases. Okay. Now, there's two ways you can do these problems, and I'm gonna show you the first way, which is like the tried and true way right here. You can never go wrong doing this, and that is just called the FOIL method. So here we have the quantity of d plus 5 squared, which means that's just like if you had 8 squared, that's 8 times 8. Here you just have d plus 5 squared, so that's d plus 5 times d plus 5. And we did this in the last lesson. So the FOIL method, I'm going to go my first terms, so d times d, then my outside terms, that's d times 5, and then I'm going to go my inside terms, which is 5 times d, and then my last terms, which is 5 times 5. Okay, so it looks like this. So d times d gives me d squared. Okay, so d times 5 gives me positive 5d. 5 times d gives me positive 5d. And then 5 times 5 gives me 25. So then I can just combine my like terms, and I get d squared plus 10d plus 25. And that's my answer. Okay, now the other way you can do this kind of problem, okay, and this works when when both binomials have the same sign. You can do it a different way. You can just think square the first term, so that's d squared. Okay, all right, then we're gonna multiply the two terms by each other. So d times 5 gives me 5d, and then we're going to double that. So 5d times 2 gives me 10d. And then we square the last term, 5 squared. And you get the same thing. Okay, so again, that's you square the first term. Then you take the two terms in the parentheses. D times 5 gives you 5d, then you double that. Not square it, you double it. Multiply it by 2 to give you that, and then square the last term. All right, so let's look at this one. This, if you want to do it the FOIL method, again, that's the tried and true way, right? So it's n minus 3 times n minus 3. All right, so n times n gives me n squared. N times negative 3 gives me negative 3n. Negative 3 times n gives me negative 3n. And negative 3 times negative 3 gives me positive 9. And then I just combine the middle terms. So n squared minus 6n plus 9. Okay. All right, let's do this one. So that's 4t minus 11 times 4t minus 11. Okay, so multiply our first terms. That gives me 16t squared. 4t times negative 11, negative 44t. Negative 11 times 4t, negative, this is kind of confusing as a t right there, not a plus sign. Negative 44t. And then negative 11 times negative 11 gives me positive 121. So just combine the middle terms. So 16t squared minus 88t, that's negative 44 minus 44 gives me negative 88t, plus 121. All right, two more. G times G gives me G squared. G times negative 4 gives me negative 4g. 4 times g gives me positive 4g. And 4 times negative 4 gives me negative 16. Okay, so check this out. When you have opposite signs, so this binomial has a positive, this one has a negative. Look what ends up happening in a lot of cases, if not all, is that the middle term ends up canceling out. Negative 4g plus 4g cancels out, and you end up with g squared minus 16. All right. Okay, let's look at this one. Negative 3y times negative 3y gives me positive 9y squared. Negative 3y times negative 2 gives me positive 6y. 2 times negative 3y gives me negative 6y. And 2 times negative 2 gives me negative 4. All right, so what happens to these terms? You got 6y minus 6y. They cancel out, give you 0. And your final answer is 9y squared minus 4. Okay. All right, so read through the lesson. Or if you just want to just continue using the FOIL method, if you can get fast at that, that's fine. But pretty simple lesson. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? Take care.